Good evening, everyone. So this is the subject organizational behavior. We have already covered some 10% of the lecture, 10% of the syllabus. This is the introduction part. The students who have joined the lecture today for the first time, please see that you are joining the Google Classroom as well so that you can view the earlier recordings, what we had covered in the earlier module. So uh, before going ahead, you should know what is organizational behavior. It is the study of human behavior, especially in an organization, because we should understand that in an organization, we will be finding people from different backgrounds. There will be diverse workforce. Diverse workforce means people who are coming from different background. So in order to deal with such people, we need to have a good understanding about organizational behavior. So here we are dealing with people behavior, that is individual behavior, then individual behavior in a team, then team to team behavior, that is group to group behavior, and group behavior and the organizational behavior. So this is a very vast topic, only a little bit we are covering over here. Another important thing which you have to remember is that this concept of organizational behavior is having its like it has borrowed contents from various other disciplines as well, like psychology is related over here, human resource management is related over here, political science is related, anthropology is related, like that. It is actually having concepts which are or which have been borrowed from various other disciplines. So here we have covered lots of topics. That's why I told you those who have missed the lecture are supposed to go through the recordings. So this was the layer topic which we were discussing recently, that was Hawthorne model. Then before that we saw different models, 5 different models. Then Hawthorne experiments, twice this topic is coming in this particular module. What is meant by Hawthorne experiments? This Hawthorne experiments actually started, we can say, uh, briefly started about studying of organizational behavior in an organization that was conducted years before. So that also we have covered. So please go through the recordings. Today we are going to discuss about organization design. This is the next topic, meaning and key factors of organization design. Now, I would be sharing you the PDF of all the 4 modules. There are 4 modules over here. The recordings also will be shared in the classroom. Plus, the PDF of each of this module also will be shared in the classroom. Please go through that. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about organizational design. So I think all of you know what is an organization. Organization, we call it as an organization. It is a company, it is a firm, it is an entrepreneurial unit, it is an enterprise. It could be anything like that. In an organization, there are different types of people. Okay, so in an organization means there will be different levels over there. There will be top level management, middle level management, and lower level management. So here we can see, basically organization is a division of work to achieve the short-term and long-term goals of a firm. The larger the volume of work, more the varied the activities involved, larger and more complex will be for getting the work done or for getting the job done. As managers begin to break down the total job into different parts and assign these jobs to different individuals, the process of organization begins. And it continues throughout the life of the entire organization. If the management is responsive, then this organization design will be very much effective. It will be reflecting the aims and goals, plans and policies of the organization. That is the strategy of the organization. So what we have to understand is that no company will be able to survive and sustain alone. In a company, there will be different number of people working either directly or indirectly. So organization design helps us to explain in detail how this should be or this could be managed. So in addition to subdividing tasks into network of individuals, it is also necessary to coordinate these activities so that the goals of the organization can be accomplished. So here you can see a meaning over here. In the words of Jay Galbraith, the task of organization design is to do it well. What is to be done well? The activities of the organization should be done well. So organization design is the continuous monitoring and assessing of the fit between goals, structures, rewards, creation and choice of alternative actions where there is no fit, implementation of the chosen design. It means the different activities which are happening in an organization. Each and every organization or a company will be, normally it will be divided into different departments. Like there will be HR department, finance department, sales and marketing department, research section, like that. So many departments will be there, and n number of employees also will be working over here. So there should be continuous monitoring, assessing of the relationship between these people, these departments, and also see how it is being contributing to the entire success of the organization. So organizational design, to an extent, we can say that how a company is doing the activities well, or it is monitoring the activities of the company, of the goals, and whether it is working out properly or not. So there are several key factors involved in organizational design. First one is span of control. All these questions, whatever I'm telling you, all these points can come for objective questions. So what is span of control? It is actually a concept which is given by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol, in the one of the earlier topics we had seen about Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol had contributed to management, like with his 14 principles of modern management. Under that, one important point is span of control. What is span of control? It refers to the number of subordinates that a superior can manage or control effectively. For example, there is a manager, और एक वो manager के अंदर we can say maybe it's a very large organization, okay, and below that manager some group of people are there. Now how much can that manager control? How many people can that manager control? That number should neither be too large nor too small. If it is large number, then there will be loose control, he will not be able to coordinate. If it is small number, then there would be more stricter control. So neither loose control nor strict control is advisable. Therefore, there should be proper span of control so that the task can be completed effectively and efficiently. So span of control means the number of subordinates a manager can efficiently handle or manage or control effectively. For example, ideally we can say, nowadays it's TL. TL means team leader. Most of the organizations you can hear that term, team leader. So एक team leader के अंडर कितने एम्प्लॉयज तक हो सकते हैं, कितने एम्प्लॉयज तक अच्छे से वो मैनेज करके अच्छे से वो कोऑर्डिनेट कर सकते हैं. It should not be too large and it should not be too small also. That is span of control. That is very important in organizational design. Then line and staff relationship. In large organizations, there exists a line and staff relationship. This we will see in detail. What is line and staff? What are other different types of organizational structure we will see. That time it will be more clear to you. Now just understand, in big organizations, especially traditional organizations and all, there is a line and staff relationship. That is, line managers will be there. They are the decision makers in various functional areas. I told you already, in large organizations and all, there will be different departments. Jaise ki HR will be there, finance will be there, sales and marketing will be there, production will be there, research will be there. So in these, among these cases, we can see that there will be a line manager also who is a decision maker, and staff officers are the advisors who are assisting the line managers in the planning activities. So it should be very much clear. The authority, whatever responsibility is given to line manager, that is different. Staff manager, that is different. It should be clearly mentioned. Otherwise, there can be serious conflicts between line and staff managers. So this is another important aspect of an organizational design. When I'm talking about organizational design, you imagine a company in your mind. And in a company, there will be lots of employees. Just imagine the first case. Just imagine the first case when a span of control. एक मैनेजर है और वो मैनेजर के अंडर बहुत सारे एम्प्लॉयज रहेंगे, तो कितना कंफ्यूजन हो सकते हैं वहां पे. दैट इज वन सिचुएशन. सो ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल डिजाइन शुड बी perfectly planned with respect to the number of employees a manager can control. Second one is line and staff relationship. Line and staff relationship is very commonly found in traditional organizations, we can say. That again, as I told you, I'll repeat it again when it's coming in the next topic. In detail, it is coming. So here, just understand, for various departments, there will be different line managers. There will also be staff managers or staff officers who are assisting the line managers in getting the responsibilities done properly. So there should be a cordial relationship between this line and staff managers as well. Then committees and group decision making. This is another very important thing. Groups, the role of groups. Groups are important in order to get the work done in a better way. When you contribute as an individual and when you contribute in a group, the things are different. So nowadays we can say that the committees and groups play a very important role in decision making. There are different types of committees, different groups and all, which are clearly set up by the organization authority. And here also, the authority and responsibility should be clearly, what you can say, clearly mentioned so that there is no ambiguity. Ambiguity means कुछ confusion नहीं होना चाहिए, ताकि वो committees and groups can function properly, whatever is their assigned role. Like we can say work committee, then rewards committee, increment committee, or any other committee, even groups maybe. There are different types of groups. So their relationship also is equally important in an organizational design. Next is need and significance of an organization design. Why is it important? What is this organization design? Organization design, we can say it's basically continuous monitoring of all the different activities in an organization, especially different levels in an organization, to see that the works are done properly. There is proper coordination among all the activities in an organization. So why this is required? It is required first of all due to division of work, because no individual can complete all the tasks together, or he or she cannot take everything on his head. So there should be division of work. This is again another important principle given by Henry Fayol. So a good organizational design facilitates division of work among the individuals and departments. When there is division of work, that will lead to specialization. It results in improvement in quality, quantity, and at the same time reduction in the cost as well. It also leads to innovation. How can we say that division of work is leading to specialization? Division of work means when we are dividing the work, the employees belonging to maybe IT field, they can be given IT related work, so they are specializing in that. Employees who are good in finance, accounting and all, they can be given finance related jobs, so they will be specializing more on that. Like this, we can divide the work. This will bring much more productivity in the organization. Rather, you expect an IT employee. Can we expect an IT employee to do accounting work? Can we expect a marketing person to do complex IT activities and all? So that such type of activities will again create confusion in the organization. So the division of work is very important. Then there should be coordination. What type of coordination? A sound organizational design helps in proper coordination of activities among individuals and various departments. It enables systematic coordination between, I told you there are normally 3 different levels: top level, middle level, and lower level. So there should be good coordination between all these levels: top level, middle level and lower level, and the subordinates as well, if any subordinates are there. So this also can be possible only if there is an efficient organizational design. Then fixation of responsibility. Fixation of responsibility means organizational design enables to fix responsibility on each and every department. We can understand clearly where there is a mistake, what is going wrong and where it is going wrong. Like it fixes clear responsibility on the superiors and subordinates. There is no scope for shifting responsibility on account of failures, because there is division of work. Which type of work is done by which group of people, which department is doing which particular type of work, who is responsible for this particular type of work, that is understood clearly when there is a proper organizational design. So it is easy to fix responsibility in case something goes wrong. Then planning and control. A good organizational design, it also facilitates effective planning, supervision and control of activities, because again here there is good relationship between the superiors, subordinates, and they can very well in advance plan all the activities and control the activities as well. Relationship. A good organizational design, it helps to maintain a good relationship between, again, different levels of management, between superiors and subordinates, again between superiors and superiors also, that is the people who are belonging to the same level of management, then subordinates and subordinates. Then reduction in wastages. OD helps in reducing wastages due to the extra care taken by the employees in the organization. Because there is clarity of responsibility, There is fixing of responsibility. The subordinates will work with much more care and concentration. Then, optimum use of resources. A well-defined organizational design facilitates optimum use of resources in an organization such as physical, financial, human. What are the resources? Resources are the utilities, we can say to an extent, which are required for the organization to function smoothly. So when there is a proper organization design, a well-defined structure, organization structure that will help in getting the work done easily without resulting in unwanted time and effort wastage. Team spirit. The superior and the subordinate work together as a team in order to get the work done. This often results in high productivity and efficiency. We have already seen that. Good relationship in an organization, that too a professional relationship in the organization, will definitely help in improving the productivity both for the superiors and the subordinates. So these are the factors over here. Now, next is factors influencing organizational design. Three important things are over here. Like we need good technology. Technology, especially nowadays, we can say that technology, that is ICT, information and communication technology, is making the work much more easier. The technology will definitely have a serious impact on the organization design. Like it depends. If the organization is using simple technology, it will be having a simple design. And if it is a large one, they will be going for a complex technology. Nowadays, we can see that none of the organizations can function without the help of technology. So the like even communication, official communication, be it official communication, unofficial communication, whatever it is, everything is going through the help of technology only. Environment. Environment means the like what is affecting the business. There are both internal as well as external environment. Like we can say that a business is not isolated. A business is getting affected both by internal factors as well as external factors. Then only a business will be running. So organizational design depends on various such philosophies, both internal and external. So internal organization design means to an extent means what is happening within the company. Matlab, for example, the employees there, then the policy over there, policy of the company, the philosophy of the company, the vision of the company, objectives of the firm, plans, policies, everything which is inside to the company, that is internal. External means outside, like the customers who are outside. There should be a good relationship with the customers. The competitors who are our rivals, they also will affect our business decisions. Then the suppliers who are providing raw materials to the company, they also affect. Channel intermediaries, they are the people who are in between. They are the intermediaries who are helping in getting the products to the final customers. Then these are all external factors which also affects an organizational design. Then there are strategic factors, like some decisions which are strategic decisions which are to be taken by the company. And why such decisions are taken? These decisions are taken in order to provide a competitive edge or competitive advantage. Means competitive edge means what this particular company is having when we are comparing to that of the competitors. What our company is having different or unique from our competitors. For that, certain factors are important. That is strategic factors. Like we can say one is low cost strategy, by selling the product at a lower price than the competitors. Then some differentiation strategy by providing a product which is exclusively unique and it is completely unique from that of the competitors. Like that we can do. Then focus strategy, focusing on any particular important like market segment, we can say. Then focusing from one product to another product, anything where we can have a differentiation from that of our competitors. These three factors also you have to note it down. Then next topic is types of organizational design. Again, this is just a generalized concept. The types of organizational design will be different from companies to companies, depending on the size of the company, scale of operations, like if it is a very large company, if it is a small company, in all these cases, the things will be different. So some of these designs we are going to see over here. It is divided into two. traditional designs and contemporary designs. So first we will see the traditional organization design. First one is functional design. It's very easy to understand. Okay, functional means where the organization is designed or it is involving specializations of activity, like where in that organization it is divided into different teams, different departments and different functions, different positions. Like that, when we are dividing the organization, that is known as a functional design. Like as I told you, production department, marketing, finance, HR, etc. When the organization is based on this design, it is known as functional design. Here what happens? We can clearly identify what type of activity is happening in which department. We can clearly give responsibilities to employees, help to reduce the cost, even reduce the error. There will be more interaction and support among the people from the same department. Disadvantages are that they will not be focusing on the organizational activities as a whole. Rather, they will be focusing on only on their departmental activities. That can be a disadvantage. At the same time, there can be a lack of coordination among various functional departments in the organization. Okay, so this is about function. Then there is place design. Place design involves, this is something again different, like it involves establishing branches of this organization across various geographical areas. Here what happens? All functional areas of one group will be in one location. That is, branches will be there, like in very common in banks. So whatever, all that functional areas will be there in that particular branch. So area wise, when we are designing the organization, that is known as place design. This is quite useful when we have to respond to local market conditions, because we need to be closer to the market during those times. Advantages here are, we can directly contact with the customers, we can provide better services to the customers, low cost of materials and all. At the same time, drawbacks will be that it will be difficult to coordinate among the different regions or different branches. And the employees may again give more emphasis on their own branch rather than the objectives of the organization as a whole. So when we are dividing, like on the basis of place design, we will be having small offices in different parts, and in that small office all the functional activities will be happening together. Then there is product design. Product design involves establishment of units capable of developing, producing, marketing and distributing its own goods or services. This is useful when there are multiple goods. Multiple means more than one type of good. In such cases, they can use this product design. Like here also, it is easy. They can function as per their requirement, but it is quite cost worthy. It is quite expensive. Then there is multi-divisional. Multi-divisional design means the tasks are organized by division on the basis of the product or geographical market in which the products are sold. Like here, responsibilities for the divisional managers, they will be taking the decisions with respect to their units. Like we can say, for this southern area, they will be taking decisions. Northern area, they will be taking decisions, like that. And they will even allow these divisional managers to take all the decisions with respect to routine activities. And top level managers, they can focus on much more important issues. These are the traditional structures, traditional organizational designs, we can say. Now, contemporary designs are those which are developed in order to overcome the deficiencies or in order to overcome the problems associated with the traditional designs. Because nowadays we can say that there are much more changes which are happening in the market. So we also need to, the companies also need to go along with these changes. They need to move according to these changes. So iske liye, there are some changes, new adaptations done over here. So among that, multinational design, where multinational companies, all of you know, where they will be presence in more than two or more countries, we can say, and they will be producing and selling products which are available in 2 or more countries. And it is in order to bring the countries much more closer Such type of design is known as multinational design. We can get benefits are that we can get goods produced in any other country. We can get markets of other countries, better relationship between different countries. But limitations are there. So limitations like there can be political influences, then cultural onslaught. Cultural onslaught means maybe we will not be able to adjust to the type of product and services from another culture. That is, cultural differences can happen. That is multinational design. Then there is network design. Network design is adopted by organizations which outsource non-core functions. Now, outsourcing is something which all of you know. What do we outsource? What is outsourcing? When we are allocating some of our routine non-core activities to a third party. That is outsourcing. Okay. So, like for one example, I'll tell you, most of the organizations we can see. Now, one example I'll tell you is when our college is outsourcing the security to an outside agency. That is outsourcing. So, non-core function होना चाहिए और वो रिपीटेटिव फंक्शन होना चाहिए, डे टू डे होना चाहिए. जैसे कि हाउसकीपिंग आउटसोर्स करते हैं, जो डेली डे टू डे एक्टिविटी है और रिपीटेटिव एक्टिविटी है, बट नॉन कोर है. व्हाई इट इज नॉन कोर? नॉन कोर मींस ऐसे नहीं कि वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, वो इंपॉर्टेंट एक्टिविटी है, बट अपने कंपनी के लिए आवर कंपनी इज नॉट गोइंग टू look into these cleaning activities, supervising activities and all. Our company's aim is something else. So some kind of activities can be outsourced. So network design uses this non-core function. They are outsourcing non-core functions to other companies. It is also known as a modular organization. Very common type of organization nowadays. So we can focus on our core activities over here. It is because we have distinctive competence. We are having different types of activities now, and individuals, departments and all are actually sharing the task. We have to work more to satisfy customer requirements and all. There is more open communication nowadays, more use of IT nowadays, and more trust and relationship, more cooperation is required nowadays. Because of all these reasons, we can say that a modular or a network design is growing up. Then there is virtual organization, which most of us are engaging now. We can say virtual design is the latest type of organization design where managers are directly using in order to satisfy the customer need. As per the changes in the business environment, changes are happening in the organization. Like IT, it is more focusing on IT. Employees are constantly getting training in order to master the new techniques, whatever is there in the updated techniques in the market. There is good flow of information in the market. Employees also respond very quickly over here. Entire workforce is just there, capable in order to provide services to the clients effectively. That is virtual. For virtual organization, we can also call it as, like nowadays what we see, work from home to an extent we can say is a type of virtual, like where we are all sitting apart, but at the same time contributing to the organizational development. So these are the various types of organization design. That is, here you can see, once again, we will see from the beginning, you can see traditional, yes, organizational designs can be divided as into traditional and contemporary, functional, place, product, multi-divisional, contemporary are multinational, network and virtual. So this is about organization design. So what is organization design? It actually helps to understand how the companies are dividing their work amongst the employees, how they are working together in order to achieve the important goals of an organization. As we have already seen over here, we can see there is span of control, then good relationship, coordination, responsibility, fixation of responsibility, planning, control, maintaining good relationship with everyone, optimum use of resources, so that the organization design is done, or it is actually helping in implementing the goals of the organization. That is about organizational design.